Chapter 16. Debt-Free Living. If you jump up, you will come down, but if you grow up, you will stay up. The very mention of the word debt sends shivers down the spines of many individuals and families because of the weight of debt they carry. Millions of people are in bondage to consumer and credit card debts. While some people believe and think it is not possible to be debt-free, even if it's just mortgage debt, some others believe that you should never be in debt at all, but pay cash for everything, including your house. No matter where you stand on this paradigm, debt is an issue that needs attention if you ever want to be rich and create wealth. Let me start by helping you realize that there are two types of debt. Good debt, a leverage. Bad debt, a bondage. Good debt. This is any debt you incur for investment or assets purposes. If the interest rate you are to pay for the loan is not as much as the return from the asset or investment, then it is good debt, because you are now using other people's money, OPM, as a leverage to create wealth. Many rich and wealthy people today are in good debt, including their organizations and businesses, because they have learned the secret of leveraging on other people's money to create great wealth. It is cheaper to use debt to finance their businesses and investment opportunities, because instead of using their own liquid cash, they borrow money at low interest and make more from the investment than they need to finance the loan. For example, if you get a $10,000 loan at 10% per annum and invest into something that gives you 70% per annum returns, it is good because you are making money with debt. Good debt is good, but to have no debt is better. It is better to operate a debt-free life and pay cash for anything you need, no matter how much, though many people can't wrap their head around this level of living where you owe no one and can afford anything you want. But it is possible, achievable, and many already operate at that level. Companies like Microsoft, Costco, eBay, Apple, Google, Chick-fil-A, Common Sense Limited, etc., operate a debt-free level of operations. Bad debt. This is any debt you incur for consumables or liabilities, and unfortunately, this is the level many debtors operate in. Knowing the difference between assets and liabilities is very vital for you to know the difference between good debt and bad debt. This is because a lot of people borrow for liabilities and think it wise, because they mistake liability for asset. They are traps posing as opportunities. Marketers, advertisers, publicists all know too well how to work on people psychologically and stir them up emotionally into impulse purchase and wasteful spending. An asset is anything that appreciates in value and brings money into your pocket. In this context, apart from appreciating in value, it must bring more money than the cost of the loan. A liability is anything that depreciates in value and take more money away from you. And in this context, you not only pay for the loan and interest, you still spend money to maintain the liability because it is not bringing any money to you or appreciating. If you use this to evaluate your life, you will suddenly see the foolishness of borrowing money for clothes, furniture, electronics, food, etc. Buy now, pay later. Buy now, wear now, pay later. Buy now, pay nothing until 20 blank. These are some of the debt baits, signs, and sounds you see and hear. Exiting bad debt and leveraging on good debt is very key for wealth creation. The mortgage confusion. The single largest debt that a lot of people have today is mortgage debt, and the confusion is always to know whether it is good debt or bad debt. The word mortgage is a combination of the word morth, death, gauge, grip. Mortician also comes from the same root word, so mortgage means death grip, or the grip of death. And I don't think it is wise to submit yourself to death's grip for 25 years. If you have a mortgage for your home and you live in the home, even though it may be appreciating in value, which we now know may not be if the buying price was already inflated, you don't make money from it, but even spend money on it, and this calls for a rethink. If we look at it through the mirror of our definition of asset, it may not pass. However, if you have a mortgage on a rental property, it is a leverage if the rent you get pays the mortgage and still give you a positive cash flow every month. A better level, though, is to buy the houses in cash and rent out for cash flow. I know buying or building houses in cash may be a struggle for many, but it is a realm to aim for. I always have this talk with most of my friends in Europe and the United States of America, USA, and I'm happy I operate in a cash society that has enabled me to think cash and not debt. If you have mortgage loans, you can arrange to pay it off in 5 to 10 years instead of 25 years. Few things that can help you achieve that include 1. Don't buy a house that is beyond your level at the onset so that it would be easy to pay off in 5 to 10 years. You don't have to live in the same house for life, but can change every 10 years until you get into your dream home. 2. Save to pay large deposit at the time of purchase to reduce what you pay and how long it takes. If you deposit between 30 and 50% of the house cost at closing, you can easily pay up the balance in a few years. 3. Save to buy a house in cash in an auction or foreclosure sales, to start from there and move up. 4. Pay your mortgage every 2 weeks instead of every month. This will make you pay for 13 months in a year instead of 12 months and will greatly reduce your payment years. 5. Add extra payment to your monthly payment, and it will also help reduce the years. This is doable if you apply them. I paid cash for all my houses and make monthly cash flow from them, and I have helped others do the same. I have also helped people see things differently, and many have paid off their mortgage in 5 to 8 years. 7 strategies for exiting bad debt. Debts don't disappear without a plan, so to become debt-free you need to have a plan and strategize on achieving the debt-free goal. 1. Make up your mind to be debt-free. If you think you can or think you can't, you are right, said Henry Ford. If you believe you can or believe you can't, you are also right, because it is what you think and believe that matters. The first step is for you to make up your mind to become debt-free, because nobody can make up your mind for you. If it's going to be, it's up to you. And as long as you have reasons or excuses to stay in debt, you won't be committed to pay the price for freedom from debt. 2. Make a list of all your debts to know exactly what you owe. If you don't know how much you owe, how will you pay it all? When you ask some people how much they owe, they start thinking and guessing instead of stating it clearly as fact. Get a note and a pen and make a list of every debt you owe from the largest to the smallest. Whether you owe an individual or a company, include every debt no matter how small or ridiculous it may look. The process of writing it down and the act of seeing it clearly on paper in one clear view has a way of bringing you to reality. 3. Close the door on bad debt immediately. Things are already bad and you don't want to make it worse. Once you have made up your mind to be debt-free and have a list of all your debts, then stop going deeper into debts. The list should not be increasing at this stage, but decreasing. Any temptation or pressure from any angle that wants to draw you deeper into debts and increase your list must be resisted completely. You have to battle your way out. 4. Start reducing debts one by one from the least one. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step, and that first step is the most challenging one. But once you take the first step, the journey has begun. Start paying off the debts from the smallest one on your list, because as you pay them off that way, your list starts to reduce, and psychologically it is a motivation and an encouraging thing. Something you also need to do is to call your creditors and talk with them. For individual creditors, call them to let them know your commitment to become debt-free and ask for their support and understanding, especially those who may not be at the bottom of the list, since you will be starting at the bottom. Ask for time, understanding, and support. For corporate creditors, renegotiate with them to see if they can reduce, waive, or cancel the interest rate or part of the loan. Also, find out the minimum payment you can make so you can start reducing it step by step. 5. Cut your expenses and avoid excesses and waste. Now that you have started the journey to debt cancellation, you need to really cut your expenses to free up money toward the debt-free goal, and you need to avoid any form of waste or excesses. There are only 2 ways to make more money available to you. Increase your income, reduce your expenses. Many think they need to increase their income to have more money, but reducing your expenditure will also make more money available to you. 6. Creatively increase your income. If you take the last 5 strategies seriously, achieving this 6th strategy will not be a problem. You need to realize that you have not explored every potential source of income at your disposal, and now is the time to think deep. Commission-based agent, commission-based marketing, internet business, home-based business, network marketing, selling on eBay, etc. are all some new frontiers to explore. Don't close your mind to other income potentials, no matter how small they are. Number 7. Get out and stay out. If you do all I have shared, you will be debt-free. It's only a matter of time. When you do become debt-free, which I believe will be sooner than you think, make sure you stay out of debt completely. Otherwise, you start the debt cycle all over again and put yourself in bondage afresh. Get out and stay out. 3 vital notes. 1. Don't compromise your investments in the debt cancellation process. No matter how much you owe, don't stop the 10-20% savings and investment in obedience to the 30-70 principle. How can I be saving money when I'm in debt? Why won't you, is my reply. If you die, the debt dies, except otherwise. So you can use your savings and investments to survive when emergencies come. Don't stop investing. Number 2. Don't forget the Parkinson's law effect. When you come out of debt, or while you are reducing your debts, avoid living large. After you come out of debts, use the money now at your disposal for investment. You have no more debts to pay, but you have a future to create, and today's seed will be the key to tomorrow's wealth when well invested. Number 3. There is a supernatural dimension. If you care to know, there is a supernatural dimension to debt cancellation, and it is called supernatural debt cancellation, either through supernatural supply, where the Creator supernaturally supplies for you to pay it off, or through supernatural favor, where the Creator gives you favor before creditors and they reduce or cancel your debts, or favor before people and they help you pay off your debts. Believe it, it is true and it works. You have heard it said that givers never lack. It is not a slogan, but a fact. If you are a generous person, your generosity can activate the supernatural on your behalf. I have seen it happen over and over again in people's lives, and I have had my own story too. I do hope that these information and strategies will challenge you to act accordingly, and I hope to hear your testimony soon. Let me close this chapter on a humorous note by asking you a funny question. Are you an African? What makes you an African? 1. You unwrap all your gifts carefully so that you can reuse the wrapper. 2. You call a person you've never met before uncle or aunt. 3. More than 90% of the music CDs and cassettes in your home are illegal copies. 4. Your garage is always full of stuff because you never throw anything away, just in case you need it someday. A gumboot without a partner, and the baby walker. Baby's now 12 and you're 48. 5. You have a collection of miniature shampoo bottles from your stays at hotels. Go cool, sweetheart, African pride. 6. You have almost always carried overweight baggage when traveling by plane. 7. If a store has a limit on the quantity of a product, then each member of the family will join separate queues to purchase the maximum quantity possible: sugar, soap, rice, cooking fat, etc. during the good old days. 8. All children have annoying nicknames. 9. Nobody in your family informs you that they are coming over for a visit. Uncles, wife, sister-in-law, 2 nephews, and a neighbor have camped at home. 10. You stuff your pockets with mints and toothpicks at restaurants, Murray mints, wrappers, and salt shakers. 11. Your mother has a minor disagreement with her sister and does not talk to her for 10 years. 12. You only make telephone calls at a cheaper rate at nights, especially beepers. 13. You never have less than 20 people to meet you at the airport or see you off, even if it is a local flight. 14. You keep changing your internet service provider because the first month is free. I know some people. 15. Office supplies mysteriously find their way to your home. Yes, staple machines, office pins, punch machine, sellotapes, Post-its. And 17. Your mother calls you down from upstairs to change the TV channel. Do you agree? Well, it's only a joke.